Hey, Fit Like YouTube, welcome back to another episode. So, thank you first of all to all those who have recently subscribed to the channel, and thank you to the subscribers who have been with me for a long time, many years. So, as you can see, the dinoflagellates got totally out of control. What I did to remedy this was I added the 8-watt UV sterilizer. Now, with dinos, there's multiple things that you can do to get rid of it. I could basically throw the kitchen sink at this, but then if I do everything all at once, I'm not going to be 100% sure what got rid of it. If I got rid of it, what worked. So the route I'm going down is just doing one thing at a time. So it's been 7 days. The tank is looking a million times better. So what I did was added the 80-watt UV sterilizer. Was that responsible for how the tank looks now? The answer is no. What I also did was, because things were getting so bad, I decided to switch off the lights, and I wanted to reduce the numbers of the dinoflagellates so that other bacteria would get a chance to get on top and get things into a better balance. So what I did was I blacked out the whole tank for 1 day. I know that it's recommended to do 3 to 5. This wasn't an option for me because there's no way I'm going to starve my fish for that length of period, and when they're in darkness they are just hiding and they want to eat. So what I did was I blocked it out for 1 whole day. Then I removed the black bags, but I kept the lights switched off and I kept the living room blinds closed. During the day the room was fairly dark, and there was enough light for the fish to still come out and I could feed them, and that was fine. So I did that for another 4 days. Then I put the lights back on, and this is how the tank looks. So the lights have just gone back on, and looking at it, it's looking pretty good. I've definitely weakened the dinoflagellates. Have they totally been eliminated? I don't think so. I think dinos are always in your system. But other organisms help keep everything in balance and saves one organism from taking over. And the dinos was definitely taken over. They were king of the tank. But now I think I'm going to give, with what I've done, this is going to give other organisms an opportunity to find their place in the ecosystem. And hopefully things will be better. Right, so I'll take you in for a closer look. So as you can see, there definitely doesn't appear to be any dinoflagellates any longer. And the debris that's on the sandbed where the dinos was, it just looks like a load of detritus now. So what I will do is I'll put a filter sock down into the sump, and I will just siphon all that out into the filter sock. I do not want to do a water change just in case the dinos is still in the system, and of course a water change, they're going to love that. So definitely don't want to do that. But looking closely at all the rocks, the dino has completely been beat, I suppose. I wouldn't say eliminated, but it's definitely been beaten just now. So it's definitely in a really weak state. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to capitalise on this. So I plan on adding some more of the good bacteria. So I'll be adding some Microbacter 7, and hopefully with doing that we'll be able to get more of the good guys in here, and it'll give the dinos less opportunity to be king of the tank. But like I said, the tank's looking way better than it did, and even if you look at the start of this video you could see how bad it was. It was terrible. I did lose a few snails and a couple of crabs, I think, due to the dinos that they must have consumed, and it obviously toxic and it's killed them. But everything else in the tank is doing fantastic. So I think what I'll do is I'll go and get some bacteria and we'll get that added to the system. Okay, so now the dinos are in submission, it's time to beat them up a bit more and take advantage of their weakened state by adding some more good bacteria. So I'm going to be adding some of this Microbacter 7, and I'm pretty confident that we're going to get the ecosystem in better balance after we get this dosed. So I'm going to dose this over a few weeks, just to make sure that there's plenty of the good guys and we keep those bad guys out of the system, or save them from taking over like they did previously. Right, so that's that. Now there is one more thing that I'm going to be adding to the tank, and it's not just for dinos. There is another reason that I will be adding something else to the system, and I'll explain that shortly. Okay, so I've decided to add some live sand. Now, the reason I'm using Nature's Ocean is because I've used it in the past. I used it on the Black Pearl, and I really like it. It's really fine stuff, so obviously it will get blown about in the tank. However, this is going to be perfect for what I want, because there's a certain fish that I would like to get, and it requires a 2 to 3 inch sand bed so it can bury itself in, and this sand is going to be perfect for that. Obviously, with the flow that I've got in here, there is going to be areas where the sand will pile up due to the flow, and that'll work out perfect. Right, so the first bag of sand has been added, and what I do when I'm adding the sand is I switch off all the pumps. I then add the sand, and although it still gets cloudy, it's nowhere near as bad as if you had all your pumps running. So I'm just adding the second bag of sand now. Like I said, if you try doing this with all your flow going, you basically end up with a tank full of milk. So this is definitely the better way to do it. Once I've added this, I'll give it a wee stir. Okay, so I've kind of mixed the sand with the previous sand a little bit. So the tank's still a wee bit cloudy. Just got this ruler. I'm just measuring various spots to see what like the depth is. And I've got 1.5 inches here. So that's not too bad. I'm happy enough with that. And then I'll just let the flow create thicker areas, and the new fish that I purchase when I get it will be able to select one of those zones, and I'm sure it will be very happy. So this is how the tank's looking now. I need to get the front glass all scraped up and cleaned up a bit better. But despite the cloudiness, the tank is looking a lot better than it used to, and there's still no signs of any dino coming back, which is great. So we'll just see how things go over the next few days. Okay, the next thing and the arsenal is to increase the pod population in the system. So I've managed to pick up a bottle of copepods. Now this was only a 500ml bottle of copepods, so rather than throwing that into the main display and half of them getting eaten and not really benefiting the system that much, I've decided to add them to this tank. This is the old RO tank that I got with water box. So we're just throwing in some phytoplankton just to give them a feed. And what I'll do is I'll just culture them in here till the numbers are as big as I can get them, basically. Then I'll start scooping them out, adding them to the display, but I'll just keep a constant cycle of copepods going. As we can see, they're all happy, having a feed. And I'll also start adding them into the new refugium that I'm building. So there'll be, the next episode could possibly be on the refugium build itself. Right, that's pretty much it for this episode. Thank you for watching. the tank is doing fantastic since we've got rid of the dinos. It's been, what, nearly 2 weeks, I think, since we had it really bad. But I'll keep you posted. They could come back. I hope they don't, but we'll see how things go. And just a lovely little clip of the three shrimps getting on, which is great. So that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Till the next one. Bye-bye.